We are literally the gatekeepers or the middlemen between your business and the client, or the client to the business, or the consumer or the customer, whoever it is that is taking in that service that we are providing or you're providing. We are literally your middleman. We are your voice, and at the same time we are your ears on the ground. Yes, then we are involved last minute and they want you to do this entire miracle. We want a trend, we want people to buy those tickets,
We want likes, we want numbers.
and then you want me to give you a beautiful ad. You're using examples of like, did you see what Red Bull Kenya did? If you go and ask Red Bull Kenya how much they invested in their digital and how much you're giving me and what you expect from me, those are two different things. Diplo alone posting us, he has millions and millions of followers. If I wasn't that person who wants to push for a lot, I would just sit back. Like the doubts, they call it imposter syndrome, where sometimes you feel like, I don't think I can do this. Do I have to be in this room? Oh my God, I'm on these very big campaigns. I'm seeing very brilliant people. Will my ideas even be considered? Like, what do I even say? The truth is, no one is born confident. And there is this thing I see a lot nowadays, people keep on saying that the people you're admiring or the people who are actually sitting in those positions you're admiring could not even be as brilliant as you are. But it's because they are confident to say their nonsense and rubbish. Of course, our roles are really undermined a lot. Like, it's just social media. Bro, it's just posting and moving. How long does it take you? That should stop.
Welcome everybody to the podcast on Uganda. We are always excited to have brilliant guests on the show, and today's segment is the segment on marketing. We have none other than a brand influencer, a community manager, a digital marketer here to share with us her experience in this paradigm. What does she do on a day-to-day for you to be able to apply that knowledge in your business, in your line of work, for us to be able to achieve that middle class economy of 2040. So we have today my namesake, Miss Patricia Zawedde. Welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you so much for having me and for being considered among the top brilliant minds.
Of course you are. Look at you.
It's a pleasure.
We're always looking for communicators, people doing amazing things, shifting brands, doing things for brands, which we're rightly doing. So it would be nice to pick on your brain. How are you doing this for these brands? Why does it even make you wake up early in the morning to come to work, which you do so excitingly? I want us to understand, especially for a community manager, because people today are talking about how don't bank on just funds, right? Build a safe space for them to be able to interact with them, follow up with them. Now I just wonder what you guys are talking about as community managers. What is top of mind?
I will start with explaining who is a community manager, because I don't think everyone understands when I talk about a community manager. A community manager, in other words, could also be a social media manager or a digital manager, because we do a number of things, not just social media. That's why I think they had to change the term to community manager from social media manager, because we do a lot of things. We are literally the gatekeepers or the middlemen between your business and the client, or the client to the business, or the consumer or the customer, whoever it is that is taking in that service that we are providing or you're providing. We are literally your middleman. We are your voice, and at the same time we are your ears on the ground. Yes.
And just to be clear, it's not just digital.
No,
You're also on ground.
It's a lot of things that we do, from insights, from reporting, from responding to communities, from reading the room. You know, it's a lot. Like, to even giving direction to the business or decision making. Our voice or whatever we tell you matters a lot when it comes to that. Yeah.
How long have you done it for? Because I think you've had several roles in this realm, especially in digital, but just from where you're noticing how things are progressing or moving, what are the trends you've picked up on that didn't happen before? We've had the beehives, we've had the Taylor Swifties, the Biebers. How are things moving in that realm that people are creating a community around their brands?
I'll start maybe from where my journey started and how the trends were then, and maybe how things have shifted. Because when it comes to digital spaces or the internet, things shift in a snap. I've been actively in this role or in this kind of work that I'm doing for now 4 years, right? I started with an agency, but I wasn't there for so long, and I was still at university. Then COVID came through. That was around only 4 months. I came out of COVID, university, graduated. I took on a role with Finca Uganda, a financial institution, and I was there as a digital manager. And I did a lot of things. One thing about being a digital manager or a community manager, you have to be ready to learn. Because today you wake up and you're dealing with a client, let me say, who is selling clothes. It could be health. So you have to be agile. You also have to be on your tiptoes to learn whatever is happening in your client space and whatever field it is. Because you don't want to be that person who is reporting wrong things. I hate to use an example. There is a point where we hired or used influencers, and maybe they weren't given enough information, or we didn't look through to understand that do these influencers really fit in this category? And people were giving wrong information. So it's a lot of things. We not only do the work on the platforms, but even when it comes to influencer management and handling, that's our role. Content creation and direction, we have our eyes there. Anything CSR, we have our eyes there. Corporate image, we are there. PR, we are there. I actually find that community managers are pivot to our business. That's what I would call it, because we are everywhere. There is a point you feel like, well, I need to have a break. I don't need to be everywhere, but then you are supposed to be everywhere because you're an oversight of everything.
And it has to fit a character.
Yes.
Do you think character fits the role?
Yes, of course, you have to eventually become a social butterfly. I don't know if that's what I would call it.
Yeah.
But then to take on that role as a person, I would advise anyone out there, you have to start with enjoying and loving what you do, because we meet a lot of people every day. So that means the burnouts are many. Learn to balance and also love and enjoy what you do. Create the fun in everything you do. That's what makes me not tired. I can keep going. Businesses honestly didn't really see things like social media as an important thing to them. But until COVID came through and now we are all in our homes, but you still need to make money. That's how many people actually started embracing the power of social media, selling things online. We now have very many small businesses that are also doing business online. And I'm very happy that people are now open to learn, people are inquisitive, because I get very many people who come to me and they ask me, how do I do this? Please guide me through this. Because actually just last weekend I had a digital masterclass and it had very many people. I had a plumber as one of my students, and he was interested in learning and knowing how he can utilize social media or the internet to sell his business to reach other clients. And I'm happy that people are embracing it, though we still have a really huge gap. I don't know if it's right for me to say that maybe people have not yet realized how important a community manager or a digital manager is to a business. We find ourselves being thought of last minute. When plans are starting, for example, it's a concert or a very huge thing, people will go and sit down, design this entire beautiful strategy, and they've forgotten a community manager, right?
I feel like everyone who has been here in this chair thinks their role is very pertinent to the board.
It is, because you know why? If it wasn't important, then they would move on with their strategy without us and execute. Then we are involved last minute and they want you to do this entire miracle. We want a trend. We want people to buy those tickets.
We want likes. We want numbers.
Now, the numbers could be there, but now we are looking at practical things that are supposed to tap into consumers and convert them into buyers or actual clients. But you're bringing me on board to do a miracle last minute to ensure we have more than 1,000 people viewing this live stream. But you've thought about me 1 week too. You've been planning for 3 months. And yes, I'll come through and somehow pull that miracle, but I'm using the same old techniques, or you've not given me enough time to be creative and think of different amazing, bold ideas that could make your brand stand out as a person or to be different. Because honestly, the best executions we've had are executions where we are being involved from the start. That's why I think I'm happy with my workspace at the moment, because I work with Uganda Breweries. And for the brands I work with, if it's anything, everyone is involved from the word go. You're given time to think, to revisit, to even do a dry run, so in case it doesn't work out. And I think that's how we've been able to execute amazing, bold things. I think you've seen the recent Itania show. We were part of it as Manoff, and you see how it turned out. It's because we were involved from the word go. The recent Afro exchange for Johnny Walker, everyone was brought on board from the word go. So we move. Actually, it was digitally led. Look at the Soyuji campaign for Uganda Waragi. It was purely digital. So I believe if you give community managers or digital managers the power to do things, you trust in them, because also there is that bit where people are not trusting what you are doing. They tend to start to micromanage, but I also understand from the other side, because it's not tangible. So sometimes the panic comes through, and I understand maybe why people micromanage, or sometimes they don't believe in it because maybe they've not seen it.
Some people say they haven't been budgeted.
The budget conversation, we're always given the smallest budget. I don't know why. But then you want me to give you a beautiful ad. You're using examples of like, did you see what Red Bull Kenya did? If you go and ask Red Bull Kenya how much they invested in their digital and how much you're giving me and what you expect from me, those are two different things.
Are you worried about these AI tools that are creating ads from scratch for much less than a production house?
I think I'm one of those people who have embraced AI. I use AI to make my work and life easy. I will not deny, I use ChatGPT.
I'm one of those people who reaches the limits for a premium subscription.
Yes.
Come back at 5.
The truth is, yes, of course, there will be cuts. Let me say if a department had like 1,000 people, there will be maybe a reduction in numbers and all that. But the thing is also learn how to use these tools, because these tools need people to direct them, to guide them, because they also can't operate on their own. All the systems, whatever they may be, even in the coding, whatever. It could be an AI, but you have to input the data, you have to do all that. I don't think I'm worried about it. There are particular things that are tangible or knowledgeable, or that you have to direct this AI actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm quite impressed with how articulate you are. It's also nice to know that some brands actually think that some of these organic moments happen, like your recent interaction with Diplo.
No.
I thought that was a nice post you made on LinkedIn. In my mind, I know that there are brands who think, oh, it just happens that randomly someone is having like a Uganda Waragi in their hand. So why would you convince them otherwise?
I want to say this. One of my managers, he's called Insevera, he says, those small moments usually turn out to be the best. A small thing can become a landmark. And it's the simple ideas usually that sell brands. I don't know if you've attended Umea Awards, the marketing awards usually. You notice the ideas or the campaigns that have won those different accolades and what were simple ideas, but how did you execute it? How did you bring it to life? Obviously, sometimes we go to our managers and we tell them, this is the idea. And then, of course, the truth is, sometimes when the many questions come up, we give up on those ideas. You're like, they're not even understanding me. They're asking me too much. Then you give up. But I believe in the power of moments and small ideas and the human feel to whatever you do. Because that Diplo moment.
So what happened? Take us through.
So, of course, it's my brand. Anything that happens, I have oversight on it. The first post he made, I'm in Uganda instead of Coachella. And remember, at that point, Coachella was the thing. So we move. At that point, I'm thinking like, okay, now he's there. Usually what's really famous that side, it's the gorillas and then the coffee beach. I actually thought we would visit those coffee, because coffee is one of our, he just...
Was he your guest?
He wasn't, he on his personal business. So then he posts and he was drinking. Uganda Waragi. But we are rebranding, or we've rebranded actually, and it was the old bottle. So I slide to his DMs. I'm like, hi Diplo, we appreciate that you're endorsing us. And he responds with that, this is a cool drink. So I'm like, how do I get to him? It was up and down, no direct connect or information on his moves and whereabouts. I speak to my line manager. I'm like, he has posted about us. He's a big deal. Diplo alone posting us, he has millions and millions of followers. If I wasn't that person who wants to push for a lot, I would just sit back. I'm like, that's enough, that's okay. So next thing I'm hearing, he's in Kampala. I'm like, okay. Where exactly is he? Who is he with? Joshua Baraka. I'm like, okay. How do I get to Joshua Baraka? He's with Spinny. Good thing Spinny is one of our brand ambassadors within the brewery. So I reached out to him. He's like, cool. His flight is at 9 p.m. What time is that meanwhile? It's 6 p.m. There is a lot of traffic. I'm like, I'm not going to drive. I sit on a Boda. I have to rush. That's the good thing of having a team that is well pivoted or well connected. So I call one of our key accounts manager. I'm like, help me get a bottle of Uganda Waragi, but the new fresh pack. I'm on my way to Mizona right now. I'm on a Boda. When I reach there, let it be there. Cool, I reach. Of course, reaching, the crowd is growing and growing. How do I get to him? He's playing. I don't want to be that pushy girl of like, oh, I'm bringing a bottle. I talk to one of the people there. They tell me, no, just wait for him to finish playing. Then you just hand over the bottle and do a picture moment. I'm like, no, that's not quite enough. Because Uganda Waragi is the spirit that binds us, a connectivity moment, it's a revel kind of vibe and everything. And this is the best way to present it, not by just giving a picture. Then I look around, what is he drinking? He was drinking Uganda Waragi still.
The old bottle still?
Yes, the old bottle. Oh. I'm like, okay, cool. So he's playing. I'm actually pacing in front of like, how do I get there?
Yeah. How do I get there with a new bottle?
I actually wrote on it, signed on it, something like that. I don't know if he saw, but I did that. So I eventually got to the front. Then they gave him the UG shirt, the jersey, and I'm like, now this is my moment. So he wore the shirt, and then people were happy in the crowd. I just passed the bottle to, there is some gentleman who was standing next to him. Thank God, without asking questions.
People will be like,
it was still sealed. I made sure the seal is on. The moment he got it, can you imagine someone getting something and then he's embracing it, he's celebrating with it, he's playing with it, he opens and then drinks it. Actually, I asked the following day how many bottles of Uganda Waragi were sold in that outlet that night. And I don't remember quite a number clearly to dot, but I think we exceeded 30. Also, I think the rap-off effect is still going.
I think and people also have a long-term effect on yourselves.
Mezzo is
exporting.
Like a high-end. They usually consume those, Don Julio's and all that. But on that day, the UG was moving out. As he got it...
So 30 was good for that night? 30
bottles are good. Particularly, let me say Uganda Waragi. It's a good thing because actually it wasn't a peak day.
So I was thinking along the journey, because it sounded like you hustled to get yourself there.
Yes, I did.
But you also talked about how you're very determined, which I love to see, because I always think there's a patriot down there who's thinking, I have the guts, but do I have the consistency to keep it going? Are there times you doubt yourself in your line of work to do such things? I feel like we call it the Dutch courage here, that you need the courage to do it, but sometimes it could be quite challenging. We've done this podcast for 7 years. It has been challenging along the way. But for you, are there sometimes you doubt yourself in this line of work that you think, oh, must I? But then you keep going? Can you tell us about those moments?
We're all humans, and I think that's one thing God inserted in us that maybe we can't do away with, but maybe you have to just know how to deal with it.
Deal with what?
Like the doubts, they call it imposter syndrome, where sometimes you feel like, I don't think I can do this. Do I have to be in this room? Oh my God, I'm on these very big campaigns. I'm seeing very brilliant people. Will my ideas even be considered? Like, what do I even say? And of course, we've been in moments where you do something and maybe it doesn't work out. I will not say that everything or whatever we do is usually. There are times of failure and you try again. And that's why it's very important to have a mentor in life, whichever career or whatever you're doing. And also be that person who is not shy to learn and ask. If there is something you feel like you've tried the first time, it's not working the second, but you want to do it, because that's how I am. I'll go and ask the person I'm seeing who is doing it right. I'm like, please, how do I do this? This is what I want. Of course, there are moments of like, I'm done with this. Then you first give up for a while. But that's why it's important to have a mentor. They guide you, they direct you. These different people we see. Someone said it's a good parent or good father or good mother in businesses or in whatever you're doing. Like, try to get a person who, in a room of 1,000 people, even if you're not so sure, they can still back you up. I was asked recently about confidence, or like, how do you manage to show up or do things. That's mostly in my side of maybe content creation and things like that. The truth is, no one is born confident. And there is this thing I see a lot nowadays, people keep on saying that the people you're admiring or the people who are actually sitting in those positions you're admiring could not even be as brilliant as you are. But it's because they are confident to say their nonsense and rubbish.
Someone says that they ain't all that.
So they're there because they're confident, they spoke up, and then for you, you're brilliant, you know how to do things, but you're quiet.
Now, for that patriots that found their mentor, what are the opportunities they should be leveraging today, especially with tools that are powered with AI and they can be done in a split second that they used to be done for months and days? What are the opportunities you're seeing within digital or even just community building? There's quite a number of influencers, quite a number of brands that have their numbers on social. But what are the opportunities in creating a robust community today? That is not happening, but because you're in this field.
I'll be responding to two. One, organizations or companies or services, and then to individuals, because we're all brands. You're a brand, I'm a brand. The podcast is a brand. How it's seen or viewed. For starters, identify what your niche is or what line. Are you into finance? Are you into marketing? If you're creating your content or if you're writing blogs or anything, first identify what are people's needs.
Give us a practical example. The Patriot is young.
So the Patriot, for example, wants to become a community manager. One, invest in your knowledge because it never goes back. Very many free certificates, like I did one, Google Skills, they are there. If you have a free time, even if it's 30 minutes, those that are very short, right? Go on there, learn, embrace these AI tools that we have. Can you imagine nowadays you can go on TikTok and just type in what you're looking for and you leave a learned person like with knowledge. First thing, invest in skills. Do those small certificates, have them as your backup because they speak for you. If you're applying for anything or if you're trying to get into that direction. Secondly, there are communities like UMS, there is advertising that's proud. Be curious. Don't just sit in your corner and think we're going to come and pick you from there or someone's going to pick you from there. Get out of your comfort zone, interact, meet people in that space that you want to go to or in. If it's health or medical care, like cling onto people in that space. Be a go-getter. Then invest in your personality, how you look and feel. When I was starting out, I was invited. It was an event for marketers and everything like that. Oh, wow. I showed up. I couldn't even stand to go and be part of a picture because of how I felt and looked in that room. From that day, trust me, I try to show up because also that affects your confidence. If you're not so smart, then you're seeing other people very smart. Now, like, you can't interact with them, you're shy. That's another thing. Also, be someone people can trust and rely on. Like, for example, we've hired you, it's your first gig to deliver, and then you're not meeting your KPIs. How will I recommend you to the next person? Yeah. So, building communities starts from trust, how you show up, be responsible, have your knowledge, because be that go-to person. Like, right now, people know that Patricia or Zoe, because I go by Zoe, if it's this, she'll get it done. How, but she'll try or she'll do her level best.
Gen Z, by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. They have a bad rep. I'm always a proponent of Gen Z. I think you're the most tech savvy people. You are very, handsy, but some people think, oh no, they're just
You have to meet me
lazy,
where I am.
chill.
You have to meet me where I am. Like,
Okay.
that's the truth. And that's why I'm like repeating this. Sometimes you're able to do the work, but someone has that fear of, but these Gen Zs, like, maybe we have that thing of like giving up, the consistency issues. That's the truth. But I think that's a habit someone can work on and do better.
You have the time, you're still young. I feel like your generation has started working way earlier than we did.
Really?
Yeah. You already have resources that others didn't have, so you have opportunities to earn. So then people have a lot of expectations, but then they forget, hey, they started way earlier than we did, so we need to cut
when
them
you find
some
a
slack.
Gen Z who is grounded, shows up, at least they're doing well.
Those are the
if the
ones I've met.
opportunities are like opportunities are there, and then you show up and people keep coming back. But if you disappoint someone, how will I recommend you? For starters, invest in your knowledge, be a go-getter, and don't be shy to show your skill online.
So the patriots, they're going to invest in their knowledge, not afraid to share their skill online and all the other goodies. What are the restrictions you're finding? That if you had a magic wand or the authority to change it in terms of policy, that other people like you would operate better, what would that be?
If I had a magic wand, I would start with the finance bros.
Okay, what's your beef with the finance bros?
Well, I don't know why they always think we are wasting money with digital marketing.
We had that conversation before on the podcast.
Because if you put your things there in the supermarket, who is going to buy it if they've not seen it or known about it or they are not educated about it?
Well, someone told us the spend needs to be commensurate to the income. But they don't think long term, they think immediate. This is the balance sheet, this is what we had last month.
Marketing results are usually a ripple effect. It may not happen in a snap, but when it starts, it can even stick for like 4 years, and you're still earning from that very small thing you did 4 years back. I'll start with the finance bros. Please be kind to us who are already up there. I think giving us opportunities as the upcoming people or people out there. Lately, at least when you go to maybe a university, you're finding the digital marketing courses, which is good. But previously, they weren't really so common. So you would have to invest in a university abroad and then study online or something like that. But at least now I'm seeing in Uganda they're coming up. So maybe more of those should come up for easy accessibility.
Are you guys paying attention to bills and policies in Parliament?
Yes, where they're going to start taxing us. But now, my take on that would be heavy. But I just don't get it really, because the data I'm using is taxed. The phone I'm using was taxed. Actually, on the gigs I do, I already pay taxes on those gigs. But depending on how much or how far they go, because if they're really, really hiked, I don't know how I'm going to be supported, because I don't know how the government is supporting a content creator or a digital marketer. Maybe they should first start with that before enforcing the taxes. I would love to know how much they're going to support me.
And about those gigs, is there a gig that made you have that eureka moment that this is actually my thing? What was it?
Those should be two brands. When I worked with Downy, some brands bring out your natural form.
Yes.
First of all, the way they handled the influencers, they did everything right to the core, the training, the fresher, everything. Oh, before I even get into the gigs, the first gigs I ever did, I got them through Saladin Media. You know, they also do influencer management and handle. I actually applaud those people everywhere I go. They mentored me as an influencer or as a content creator.
I'm currently working with Derek.
Oh, that's nice. Just give him his flowers. Yeah, they did a number in growing me in that direction, pivoting me and all that. And I think even all the influencers who have gone through them can testify to that. So it goes back to mentoring. And the gig, so it's been with Downy and Airtel, where really you're working with a client who is seeing your importance in this campaign and they're treating you as so. Yeah.
Okay.
They give you a voice to air out your feedback, or if you tell them the client is saying this and this, in the next campaign you're seeing that they're implementing the feedback you gave or that you received from the online community.
And which one of them, Airtel or Downey, did you know that this is something I could do forever?
Airtel. Yeah.
Why-
I think we
why
are
was
launching
that?
the MasterCard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why was it? Why was that?
It goes back to the feedback,
Yeah.
like implementation or like guidance on maybe the app needs to be made more user friendly and all that. And trust me, they implemented that, which is a very good thing. You're talking to people and they're listening. It's a good
Wonderful.
attribute.
I think it's good to know, especially within communities. I'm sure young people, when we're talking about money somehow in the other episodes, they're always thinking, how do I make money? How do I make money?
Of course, I need to know how to make money.
Yeah, so it's good to know through your eyes or through your story that a young person there can still take the steps and then they'll love it while they're there.
Yeah.
They don't have to have it all figured out at the moment.
Because some of these gigs or this work doesn't come with a lot of pay. That's why I've said it goes back to loving what you're doing.
Right. So I think that could be all the time we've had this morning for this conversation, but we have the fun part where we have 2 rapid fire questions. So the first question is, what are we doing today that we should continue doing because it will lead us into the middle class economy, especially as a digital marketer? So think about it in your realm. And then the second one is, what do we need to stop today? You already alluded to some of the facts, but what are brands doing, especially with not leveraging social or digital in general, for them to be able to get us into the middle class?
I'll start with, what are we doing today that we need to continue?
Yes.
I'm so happy that we are embracing what I would call ATL or digital marketing. Currently, at least most of the companies or organizations have embraced the use of social media, digital tools, like to ease their work, and that's a good direction to go to. I think we should continue with it.
Okay.
I love that people are now increasing our budgets. Please don't stop. Don't cut our budgets. Third, I love that young people are now being given opportunities more and their voices are being heard. Let's continue with that because the generation is growing.
Yeah, and I feel like roles are expanding, not just marketing, but community manager,
Everywhere,
digital strategies. It's quite, they're embracing everyone with their different idea.
Yeah.
All right, the second question.
Okay.
What do we need to stop today because it's not working for us?
Undermining roles.
Okay.
Yes.
And undermine your role?
Of course. Our roles are really undermined a lot. Like, it's just social media. Bro, it's just posting and moving. How long does it take you? That should stop. Yes. Bringing us last on board. We need to be there in the start.
Yeah, you need to be part of the plan.
Yes. Third, stop cutting our budgets. We need that money.
Oof.
To produce the magic, we need the money.
Yeah.
Yes.
It came straight from Patricia's mouth, from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you made time today, albeit getting lost, and at least you found your way. I only hope that you're going to do bigger things in life. You can tell she's very driven, self-aware, and that is the patriot we need for this Uganda. Uganda needs more of these kind of young people, and I bet you've seen something you can pick out of her story to help you also motivate you, take you into that thriving middle class economy that we all achieve, because the middle class economy is definitely digital, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So I'm glad you made it. If you said something that someone wants to follow up on, where do we find you? I know you're on LinkedIn.
Patricia Zawedde, that's on my X app and Instagram, and I also have a YouTube channel with the same name.
Okay.
Yeah, so not so active there, but I'm trying.
So we'll be able to link her profiles into the show notes, so you'll be able to reach out to her.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Well, that was nice.